This is Gabriel Swaggart, and welcome this morning to another one of these devotionals here from right here at Family Worship Center in my office. And you know, it's always a delight to come before you, at least what we try to do every single day, to bring you something that I believe will be a little bit of an encouragement to you. But you know, in studying this morning, I wanted to read something with you. I'm coming to you from the commentary, the Psalm commentary that my grandfather wrote some time ago, in the 20th chapter, beginning in verse number 1, Psalm 20, verse 1. The Lord hear you in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defends you. What a statement. You know, I want to deal with something here. First of all, there's a phrase here that I want you to understand, and I know all of us would understand this terminology, the day of trouble. Every single believer, every single child of God is going to go through the day of trouble. Every single one of us are going to experience difficulties and times in our lives that we don't really know what else to do. But take heart in this, that is, this verse would say, the Lord hear you in your day of trouble. The Lord hear you in your day of trouble. There's nothing that you can do as a believer to stop the day of trouble from happening. There's nothing that you could say. There's nothing that you can quote. There's nothing that you can do that can stop this day of trouble from taking place. It's going to happen. Things are going to happen in life that we just don't quite understand. There are times in life that we're going to experience situations that we don't know really what else to do. When you turn to man during these times, man can only give you their empathy or sympathy. Man can only say, well, we'll pray for you. But when you call out to God in your day of trouble, know that He will hear you. He may not come to your aid right away, but He does hear whenever you pray. And there's an interesting phrase here. The Lord hear you in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defends you. Your day of trouble is coming. There's nothing that you can do to stop it. And you don't know what else to do except to call on Him. David, who wrote this psalm, was known that in his distress to call on God. David is an example for all of us, that in our time of trouble, as Saul was trying to kill him at times, or at other instances in his life where he was buffeted on all ends, if you will, that he would call on God. And he used the name of the God of Jacob. Interesting. Jacob is one of the greatest stories of sanctification found in the entirety of the Word of God. He was a surplanter. He was a liar. He was a heel catcher. He was all those things that were negative. But God would take this man. As much as he wanted the things of God, he tried to go about getting them all the wrong ways. And yet God would take this man and make him a patriarch of the faith. The God of Jacob, the same God that brought Jacob out, the same God that delivered Jacob, if you will, is the same one that will deliver you. If you call on Him, He will answer. Now I want you to understand that your day of trouble is coming. There's nothing you can do about it. Events in life will take place where you feel like you don't know what else to do. You may have not deserved it. But things may have happened that could cause you to say, this is my day of trouble. But if you call on God, He's going to hear your prayer. And the God of Jacob is going to come to your aid. You see, God's the only one that can take your right, put it into or take your wrong, put it into His right, and make everything all right. Only God can do that. I want to encourage you here today. Cry out to God. No matter the problem, cry out to God. The name of the God of Jacob will defend you.